vous voulez être roi, vous devez me tuer. Qui peut être roi? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Qui peut être roi? Personne? Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Qui peut être roi? Si vous voulez être roi, vous devez me tuer. Qui peut être roi? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Qui peut être roi? Si vous voulez être roi, vous devez me tuer. Qui peut être roi? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Qui peut être roi? Si vous voulez être roi, vous devez me tuer. Qui peut être roi? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non? Personne? Peut être roi?
Hey, that's tight work right there, man. I think that's a new version I hadn't seen.
Yeah,
Welcome
but
to San-
yeah, you seen that one. You seen that one, King.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one,
you definitely
man.
seen that one. I think you definitely seen that one. You and Carrie. I think Carrie had seen it too. But you know,
Right.
because I played it several times, sent it to you. But
Yeah,
peace
I've
to the
seen it.
family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Peace to the family, man. Thanks for joining Sankofa 180 degrees, man. Welcome. We back at I'm sorry, we back at y'all again, man. Um, how y'all doing, man? How the family, man?
We good, man. Glad you're getting it together, man. Thanks for taking the control of the operation, man.
Oh yeah, man. You know, I just try to. Hey, so peace to the queen. How you doing, Carrie?
I'm doing well
Yeah,
and glad to see all of you and looking forward to this as always.
man. Right. Peace to you, Gerald. Peace to you, King. I know he's somewhere close by. He's
Yeah,
close by.
taking
He's
care of
close.
Auntie.
Yeah, he's close by. What's going on, Unc, man? You've been busy, man. You just had a birthday too, but King. Happy
Yeah,
birthday
man.
again, man.
Another trip around the sun, man.
Happy solar return, should I say?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Another successful trip, man.
That's right, man. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
pretty
right.
productive. Pretty productive year, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was, and that was crazy because you came right on the show on your birthday too, man. That was slick, man.
Yeah, yeah, you did it. You did it. So, you just follow suit, man. We got to show up.
That's right, man. Peace to you, Gerald.
What to do? What to do? What to do, fam?
My
What
man,
up?
my man.
Hey, so go ahead, man.
What up, Mr. Stan? Peace to the fam, to the
I
panel.
forget.
Jamie, peace to the family, whoever out there watching, whoever be watching in the future. But peace to y'all out there. Coming again, another Sunday, representing Sankofa 180. So happy to be here. Brother Jamie supposed to be doing a presentation today. We're gonna see what that's about. He been secretive about it. See what the hell he doing.
It ain't nothing, man. It's
Gerald, you just look like you came from a jog or something, man.
Oh man, just walked up them stairs and
Yeah,
just
I
trying
see
to get everything right, trying to get unto straight, trying to get everything right before uh for the recording. But I'm good.
Right, my man.
Yeah.
yeah. So listen, man. You and Carrie have seen this one too before, but it's just this one right here, man. It's always amazed me, man, with this video, man, that I put that I got here, right? But and every time I watch it, man, I see I hear something different, right? Every time I listen to it, I do, man. I hear something different. I hear something new. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those kind of videos, man, that you really, really got to listen to. And you just got to listen to the details of this, man, because he's giving you a lot of information, man, and he's giving you a lot of references, right? He's giving you a lot of references, man, and of course these are white references. Um, but it's about Masons, man, and, and uh and well, you'll see, man, how you'll see. But the title of this is um um uh I forget the title already. Look, hold
Is
up,
it the zeitgeist?
and I just made it up too. Hold up, it's okay. Is the design of the capital of the U.S.
Right.
from Kemet?
Yeah, that's zeitgeist.
Right. So that's the
Right.
name of it, man. That's the name of it, right? All right. So uh I'm gonna let this man go ahead and talk, man. And yeah, we'll discuss, have a little light discussion afterwards, man. If
Right.
y'all don't mind, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Hey, but like I said, I listen to this, man, and it's every time I hear it, I hear something new. So but just check him out, man, and y'all just tell me according to the title. Uh, do it fit, man. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Anybody want to say something? Go ahead, man. Talk about it.
I'm familiar with it, man, but I want to see it anyway. I was telling one of the boys about this anyway. I think I was talking to Gerald about
Okay. Yeah. So this it, man. It's pretty tight. I don't know. Gerald probably seen it before. I'm not
it.
sure.
Right.
And I'm sure. I'm positive he's hip to it. I'm just saying. I truly wasn't until I ran across this though. So right. I wasn't hip to it at all. So I'm just putting it, put that out there. All right, man. So here we go.
Before and after the presidency of Donald Trump, the United States was, and now it is again, on what I would call an intentional trajectory to fulfill what famous Freemason Manly P. Hall described as the secret destiny of America, which includes a future national and global subservience to the god of Freemasonry, a deity that most Americans would not imagine when reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to one nation under God. In fact, the idea by some that the United States was established as a monotheistic Christian nation by those who designed Washington, D.C., and that the God referred to on American currency as a Judeo-Christian one, it's really a puzzling conclusion when reflected against the deistic beliefs of so many of the founding fathers, as you can see perpetually viewed in the so-called supreme architect deism of Freemasons, and in the supreme judge of the world and the divine providence notations that are in the Declaration of Independence and other founding documents, as well as the countless pagan icons that actually dominate the symbols, the statues, the buildings, the seals that were carefully drafted under official government auspices. The Great Seal of the United States primary among them, which Manly P. Hall, the famous Freemason, rightly called the signature of that exalted body of Masons who designed America for what he called a peculiar and particular purpose. It all bears rich symbolism, forecasting anything but Christianity. As a matter of fact, when Christians in the 1800s argued that a hypothetical annihilation of the United States would lead to antiquaries of succeeding centuries, and by that they meant historians, concluding that America had been a heathen nation based on the symbolism of the Great Seal, Congress was pushed to create something reflecting the Christian faith of so many of its citizens. U.S. President and Freemason Theodore Roosevelt, he strongly opposed this idea, but other Masons weren't as frustrated with the plan because, given the ambivalence of the term God, and the axiom that, interpreted within the context of the Great Seal's symbolism, this certainly would not infer the biblical Christian God. Therefore, the slogan "In God We Trust," whoever you believe that God is, was accommodated by Masons and other Illuminatus, who therefore approved as the official U.S. motto the phrase "In God We Trust."
As we've been looking at the story of Ezra and Nehemiah, the pattern of our ancient immigration back.
In my book, Zenith 2016, which among other things noted that the year of Donald Trump's presidential election had been foreseen by prophets and sages for thousands of years as the apex date, when governments would begin shifting toward the spirit that is predicted on the Great Seal of the United States, the Antichrist, followed by the actual man of sin's arrival and acceptance on the global stage in the year 2025, which people will discover in the new book Zeitgeist 2025. But this was to illustrate the point in my book Zenith 2016 that one definitely would not determine that the God in America's official motto refers to the Father of Jesus or a biblical Trinity. I wrote in that book, quote, "Imagine yourself as a space traveler who visits Earth in a fictional post-apocalyptic world. Digging through the rubble of the once thriving planet, you come across a copy of a US $1 bill with the two-sided Great Seal of the United States joined in the middle by the phrase, 'In God We Trust.' Upon consideration, you ask yourself, what God did this refer to? And with no preconceptions, you allow the symbolism on the seal to speak for itself, from which you quickly determine that this had been a great culture who worshipped Egyptian and Greek deities, especially a particular solar one whose all-seeing eye glares from atop an unfinished Egyptian pyramid. Upon further investigation into the specific beliefs of the strange group whose members had influenced the Great Seal, you discover from their highest masters, including one illustrious Albert Pike, that the sun god they venerated so highly had been known to them at various times in history by the names Apollo, Osiris, and Nimrod, end quote. Now, I made that argument in Zenith 2016 because, unknown to most Americans, and certainly to the average Christian, the Great Seal's mottos and symbolism relate to both Osiris and Apollo specifically, and yet as one. Osiris is the dominant theme of the Egyptian symbols, his resurrection and return, while the mottos of the seal point directly to Apollo, and the eagle, a pagan emblem of Jupiter, to Apollo's father. For instance, the motto Annuet Coeptus, this is from Virgil's Aeneid, in which Ascanius, the son of Annius from conquered Troy, prays to Apollo's father, Jupiter or Zeus. Charles Thompson, the designer of the Great Seal's final version, condensed line 625 of Book 9 of Virgil's Aeneid, which reads, Jupiter omnipotus, audacibus annuet coeptus, which means all-powerful Jupiter favors the daring undertaking. He condensed that down to annuet coeptus. He approves our undertaking. While the phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order of the ages, was adapted in 1782 from inspiration that Thompson found in a prophetic line in Virgil's Eclogue 4, which reads Magnus ab integro seclorum nascitur ordo, from Virgil's Eclogue 4, line 5, the interpretation of the original Latin being, and the majestic roll of circling centuries begins anew. Now that phrase is from the Cumae Sibyl, a pagan prophetess of Apollo, identified in the Bible as a demonic deceiver, and it involves the future birth of a divine son spawned from a new breed of men sent down from heaven when he receives the life of gods and sees heroes with gods commingling. According to this prophecy, this is Apollo, the son of Jupiter, or Zeus, who returns to Earth through mystical life given to him from the gods when the deity Saturn or Jupiter returns to reign over the cosmos in a new pagan golden age, what the alignment of Jupiter and Saturn on December 21, 2020 forecast, which many, by the way, including pastors, were erroneously referring to as the Christmas star. According to the Greek texts, the Magi followed an asteroid, not a stationary star alignment, whose trajectory led them to Bethlehem. But it was the closest that these two planets have appeared together in approximately 800 years not long ago, and it did indeed forecast the arrival of a messianic son, the false one, whose spirit will reside in the beast of Revelation 17:8. From the beginning of the prophecy, referenced on the Great Seal of the United States, here's what we read. Now the last age by Cumae Sibyl sung has come and gone, and the majestic roll of circling centuries begins anew. Justice returns old Saturn's reign, with a new breed of men sent down from heaven. Only do thou at the boy's birth, in whom the iron shall cease, the golden race arise. Befriend him, chaste Lucina, 'tis thine own Apollo reigns. He shall receive the life of gods and see heroes with gods commingling, and himself be seen of them, and with his father's worth reign over the world. Assume thy greatness, for the time draws nigh, dear child of gods, great progeny of Jove or Jupiter Zeus. See how it totters, the world's orbed might, earth and wide ocean, and the vault profound, all see enraptured of the coming time, end quote. According to Virgil and the Cumae Sibyl, whose prophecy formed the Novus Ordo Seclorum on the Great Seal of the United States, the New World Order begins during a time of chaos, when the earth and the oceans are tottering, a time like today. This is when the Son of Promise will suddenly arrive on earth, Apollo incarnate, a pagan savior, born of a new breed of men sent down from heaven when heroes and gods are blended together. This sounds eerily similar to what the Watchers did during the creation of Genesis 6 giants, doesn't it? And why many believe that Antichrist also represents the return of the Nephilim. But to understand why such a fanciful prophecy about Apollo, son of Jupiter, returning to Earth should be important to you, in ancient literature, Jupiter was the Roman replacement of Yahweh. As the greatest of the gods, he was a counter Yahweh. His son Apollo is a replacement of Jesus, a counter Jesus. And this Apollo comes
It's
to
not
rule the
fucking it,
final
man.
new world order when justice returns old Saturn's reign. Now, this ancient goddess Justice, who returns Saturn's reign, Saturnia Regna, the pagan Golden Age, was known to the Egyptians as Mat and to the Greeks as Demas, while to the Romans she was Lustitia. Now, statues and reliefs of her adorn thousands of government buildings and courts around the world, but especially in Washington, D.C., where she stands as familiar Lady Justice, blindfolded and holding scales and a sword. She represents, according to the prophecy, the enforcement of secular law, and is, according to this Sibyl's conjure, the authority that's going to require global compliance to the zenith of Satan's dominion, concurrent with the coming of Apollo. What's more, the Bible's accuracy concerning this subject is alarming, including the idea that pagan justice will require surrender to a satanic system in a final world order under the rule of Jupiter's son. In the New Testament, the identity of the god Apollo, coded in the Great Seal of the United States as the Masonic Messiah who's going to return to rule the earth, is the same spirit, verified by the same name that will inhabit the...
Hey, King, hey, this is the wrong one, man. This is not the right one. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. He not gonna get into the White House?
Yeah, this is because this is not the right one, man. I gotta find the other one, man.
Right.
I'm looking for it now. This is definitely not it, man.
Right. 'Cause we would have got to that part
Yeah,
earlier.
we'd have been in it already, man. Just give me a second. I'm gonna find it though.
Okay.
Give me a second,
Take your
man.
time, man.
Yeah.
That video still provided a segue to the one you're trying to find, though.
Yeah.
They'd be stealing from our people, man.
Sure they do, man. Yeah. And it just amazes me, man. Every time I hear this one, I just had it, man, and I lost it. I don't know where it went, man. Um, I couldn't find it no more, man. Once I had it up there, you know how I loaded up and you have it ready, and I looked up, man, and it was gone. I couldn't figure out where it went, man, and I thought I had it.
What's his name again? Do you remember his name?
Seth Roth.
Seth Roth. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, let's see.
juicy grilled burgers at the same time as air-fried French fries. Broiled savory salmon at the same time as roasted asparagus. Broiled chicken parm finishes at the same time as baked cheesy garlic bread. The secret is in the quick sync technology that matches the cooking times and settings of each food, so they're programmed to finish at the same time.
And honey, I cannot recommend this enough. It comes out perfect every single time.
It's awesome. Why watch? Remove the center divider and it transforms into a large 25-quart capacity of for delicious family size.
I'm looking forward to. I can't find it either. You said Seth Roth?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry about this, man. This is crazy. Oops.
Tired of wasting your money on products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Filtered Tea lets you try before you buy. Just text CLOUD to 215-215 to claim your complimentary sample.
I had to, man. I thought that was it. Because it looks just like it, man.
Yeah.
Nothing else is like it. It contains a patented key ingredient shown to work and not blind.
And I had it, man. I had it earlier. I had to search for it. We had to go so far back, King.
Send me that one that you just played. So I can try to follow up and look it up.
You have nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. That's CLOUD.
Hey, I'm sorry, family. We're going to figure something out on this one, man.
Most powerful fat burner ever.
All right.
Absolutely free. Text CLOUT to 215-215.
You pull something up here.
Hey, don't keep the change. I was in Turkey. Yeah, going on. Think you're right. I personally logged $1 million in cash into that vault right over there just last month on a case we both know hadn't gone to trial yet. Well, dog.
Yeah, man. I don't know where it would be, man.
All right, I'm looking for one
which
here.
showed strong evidence of the Egyptian language and culture having African roots. the Egyptian civilization was not of black origin.
Let's watch this short video real quick. I just sent it to you, Jamie. Can you hear me, Jamie? Hey, hit
I can.
the button so I can share a video, Jamie.
I'm sorry, King. I got it. I got it right here.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, I got it right here, man.
Okay.
I'm sorry, family. That was the wrong one. This right here, this is the one I'm talking about, man. It's not
Good.
long. It's not a long video either. It's only 17 minutes. All right.
Okay.
All right. So let me apologize to y'all.
It's all good, man.
As award-winning filmmaker Christian Pinto noted in the preface of my book, Zenith 2016, all serious researchers contend that the controversy over the so-called Washington, D.C. street layout forming a pentagram is not about whether it's truly there. Aerial photos clearly reveal that it is. Even the Masons who deny that they are responsible for it acknowledge its presence, but argue that Rhode Island Avenue does not extend all the way to complete the figure, and as such, the debate is twofold. Number one, was the DC pentagram street layout intentional, or simply the coincidence of geometric lines? Number two, why is the pentagram incomplete? Now, the answer to the second part seems to reveal the first. First, the unfinished pentagram is a well-known symbol in Freemasonry. As Manly P. Hall records in his writing, quote, "The pentagram is used extensively in black magic, but when so used, its form always differs in one of three ways. The star may be broken at one point by not permitting the converging lines to touch. When used in black magic, the pentagram is called the sign of the cloven hoof or the footprint of the devil," end quote. Now, of course, Hall was writing in the 20th century, but was that symbolism known by Masons during the founding era? The answer is yes. In fact, one of the most famous master masons of all time was Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who made use of such a pentagram in the play Faust, in which the character of Faust summons Mephistopheles, the devil, to make a pact with him. As the devil tries to leave, he's hindered. As a result, he and Faust have the following exchange. Quote, "Mephistopheles, let me go up. I cannot go away. A little hindrance bids me stay. The witch's foot upon your sill I see." Faust answers, "The pentagram, that's in your way. You son of hell, explain to me. If that stays you, how came you in today? And how was such a spirit so betrayed?" Mephistopheles answers, "Observe it closely. It is not well made. One angle on the outer side of it is just a little open, as you see." The open or broken pentagram was used by Faust to summon the devil in a black magic ceremony. The famous author of the play, Goethe, was not only a Mason, but also a well-known member of the Bavarian Illuminati. And to this day, Freemasons proudly acknowledge that his writings are filled with Masonic symbolism, while books have been written about his Illuminist involvement. Now, Goethe published his first edition of Faust in 1790, and it was in the next 2 years that Pierre Elephant, with the possible help of Thomas Jefferson, came up with the street design for Washington, D.C. It's therefore provable that members of these secret orders were familiar with the idea of an unfinished pentagram before the street layout was complete. Now, admittedly, that does not of itself prove that the pentagram was intentional. But it is interesting that Goethe's play and the DC design were done during the same period. Because of the close interaction between the Freemasonry of America and that of Europe, it's entirely possible, I would say likely, that Elephant and Jefferson were familiar with the symbol and placed it intentionally in the DC pentagram street layout. Occultists around the world understand the power of these symbols and rituals, and they realize they're not only for conveying psychological concepts, but actually for coercing the mysterious and potent supernaturalism invited to take residence there. That belief is deeply preserved in all of the Babylonian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Kabbalistic symbolism that is part of Masonic history. And according to famous Freemason Foster Bailey, these symbols intentionally hide, quote, a secret, which veils mysterious forces. These energies, when released, can have a potent effect, end quote. Scottish philosopher Thomas Carlyle once famously added, quote, by symbols accordingly is man guided and commanded, made happy, made wretched, end quote. As previously pointed out, Masons are, as a result, under oath, never to reveal the true meaning of their symbols, and when somehow they are compelled to offer explanation, they falsify the statement, even to lower degree Masons. Now, substantial reasons exist for why the designers of Washington's government center would have wanted to obscure the meaning behind the occultic layout of America's capital. If the public in general had been prematurely convinced of the end game prophesied in the DC symbolism, it would have been beyond the acceptance of prior generations who likely would have demanded change in leaders and facilities. But as time has moved forward, and increasingly it has become necessary for public understanding of America's heritage and intended purpose, little by little, either by providence, promotion, or even resistance, a clearer picture has emerged of what Manly P. Hall called the secret destiny of America. David Oveson, who became a Mason after writing The Secret Architecture of Our Nation's Capital, The Masons and the Building of Washington, D.C., whose works have been widely endorsed by Freemasons as well as Robert Hieronymus, who's considered to be one of the world's foremost authorities on the Great Seal. And of course, David Oveson's work earned praise from Fred Kleinneck, the Sovereign Grand Commander of the 33rd Degree Supreme Council of Freemasons in Washington, D.C. And it confirms how such obfuscation was deployed on the Great Seal, down to the smallest detail, including how a letter was even cut from the Latin word seclorum, which is the usual.
Hey, this is where it's gonna get crazy right here. This is where it's gonna get crazy, family. Y'all pay attention to this.
Spelling S-A-E-C-L-O-R-U-M, in order to create the word seclorum as it appears, to contribute to 3 sets of 13 on the reverse side of the Great Seal. Now, after acknowledging that the top motto, Enoet Coeptus, had the obligatory 13 letters, Oveson points out how Seclorum was letter cut to join the bottom motto, Novus Ordo Seclorum, so that the phrase would end up being 17 letters, which, when added to the 9 numerals in the Roman date, would equal a total of 26, or 2 sets of the number 13. Combined with the top motto, these 3 sets of 13 were very important to establish, Oveson says, in order to reflect the Trinity, represented in the Great Seal's Eye of Providence, and in the nominal triangle, he says, from which the pyramid is constructed, end quote. Based purely on the Great Seal's symbolism, the Trinity these 3 sets of the number 13 denote is authoritatively identified as Osiris, Horus, and Isis, the pagan versions of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, respectively. The use of the number 13 in this way also connects the Great Seal to the mythological and astrological significance of the legend of Osiris as the dying and rising god. It was evidently so important to maintain this talisman-like value, 13, that other phrases of the design and layout of Washington, D.C. were coordinated accordingly, says Oveson. This includes the laying of the White House cornerstone on October 13, 1792 by Masons, and the 4th of July signing of the Declaration of Independence 13 days after summer solstice, so that the sun would be on Sirius. In Egyptian mythology, the sun represented Osiris, while the star Sirius symbolized Isis, and 13 was the number of pieces of Osiris that Isis was able to find after Set, his evil brother, murdered and threw 14 pieces of him into the Nile. Isis searched the riverbanks until she recovered every piece except for his genitals, which had been swallowed by a fish. Isis replaced the missing organ with an obelisk and magically impregnated herself with Horus. Therefore, in Masonic, as well as in ancient Egyptian mythology, the number 13, used a total of 13 times on the Great Seal, counting front and back, is the number that represents the return or resurrection of Osiris. This mythology was so meaningful to the founding of the United States and the construction of its capital, including having the missing Osiris genitalia represented by the 6,666 inches high Egyptian obelisk known as the Washington Monument, that nearly all of David Oveson's 500-plus page Secret Architect of Our Nation's Capital is dedicated to establishing the singular correlation between Washington, D.C. and Virgo, the constellation of Isis, or what Oveson calls, quote, Isis, who was the chief of the feminine mystery deities and the prototype of the stellar Virgo, end quote. This affiliation existed from the very day that Freemasons gathered on April 15, 1791, beginning appropriately at 3:30 p.m., reflecting the mystical value of 33, because of the astrological position of Jupiter in Virgo, and what this would mean for the secret destiny of America. At exactly 3:30 p.m., Jupiter, it was written, began to rise over the horizon. It was in 23 degrees of Virgo. By this means, the zodiacal power of Virgo, which was called in later Masonic circles the Beautiful Virgin, was able to stamp her benign influence on the building of the federal city. A few of the many Freemasons present at that ceremony would have been only too well aware of the profound implications of what they were doing. It is quite clear, it was written, that the ceremonial placing of the stone related to more than merely the founding of the federal district. It was somehow linked to the future destiny of America itself. By dedicating the United States through its astrological alignment to the Virgin constellation of Isis, the founders had dedicated the destiny of America to fulfilling the secret doctrine of Freemasonry, as also reflected in the Osiris-Apollo symbolism of the Great Seal concerning subservience, now and upon his return as Antichrist, to Osiris, Apollo, Nimrod. Interestingly, the same dedication to Osiris, Isis, Apollo exists in New York, where the events of September 11, 2001 initiated the push toward the Novus Ordo Seclorum. The Statue of Liberty in New York's harbor, which holds the Masonic Torch of Enlightenment, was presented in 1884 as a gift to American Masons by the French Grand Orient Temple Masons. Designed by French Freemason and sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi, and built by another French Freemason, Gustave Eiffel, the statue was originally identified as the goddess Isis, with the statue's head formed to represent the Greek sun god Apollo, as preserved on an ancient marble tablet, today in the Archaeological Museum of Corinth, Greece. Apollo was represented as a solar deity, dressed in a similar robe and having on its head a radiant crown with the 7 spiked rays of the Helios, Apollo's sun rays, it says. The legend of Osiris and Isis, the connection with Apollo, the magical number 13, and the history surrounding their mythos is often openly discussed in Masonic and Brotherhood-friendly literature. For instance, in Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike enumerated the esoteric significance of the Osiris epic at length, adding that lower-level Masons, what sometimes is called blue Masonry, are ignorant of its true meaning, which is only known to those who are initiated into the mysteries, Pike said. He also spoke of the star Sirius, connected to Isis and it linked to Lucifer, Satan, as still glittering in the Masonic lodges as the blazing star. Elsewhere in Morals and Dogma, Pike reiterated that, quote, the all-seeing eye was the symbol of Osiris, and that the sun was termed by the Greeks the eye of Jupiter and the eye of the world, and his is the all-seeing eye in our lodges, end quote. So once people understand this illuminated Masonic connection to the Trinity on America's Great Seal, and what the prophetic symbolism, mottos, and numerology imply, it becomes apparent why so much effort was put forward for so long by those who felt it was necessary to hide this extraordinary destiny. Oveson also acknowledges that conspiracy of silence as well, writing, quote, the motto at the top of the seal, Annuit Coeptus, is from Virgil, from the Aeneid. This is a prayer to the god Jupiter. We should observe that while the subject matter of the reverse of the seal is undoubtedly pagan, if symbolic of Hermetic Egypt, the superior motto is itself a prayer to a pagan god. Could this be the reason why there has been so much reluctance to bring the reverse of the seal into the light of day? Whatever the nature of the god, the prayer directed in this way is a petition that the daring undertaking, the secret destiny of America as symbolized in finishing the pyramid, may be completed and that the new age will find fulfillment, end quote. The information that I just shared with you is only the tip of the iceberg of what I reveal in my new book, Zeitgeist 2025. In fact,
All right, family. So now, man, like that's pretty much it as far as that's concerned. This right here, I mean, any comments, first of all?
Yeah, I just pulled up the Secret Destination of America. They got a couple videos on it. They're pretty long, 3 hours. Looks like they got an old one too. So I'm gonna check some of that out. That's interesting. And then what else did I write? It's just interesting about the Masons, man. And the history, that it's Kemetic history, and it's built upon the Washington, the White House is built on it, man. And our government is ran by it, and we're the only ones that don't know it.
Damn shame, King, that they know more about what our shit than we do, than our people do. You feel me? They studying our shit, and they don't throw you up. They got our people looking up for Jesus.
Right.
When they studying and they knowing what's going on, they know it's a set, a Sar, and a root. They know
Right.
what's going on, man. They know what it is. They know what it is. It's so cold. They so cold with it that they designed the capital of the United States behind Kemetic thought, King. I mean, that's crazy, man. They studying our shit, and we don't have a clue. And we studying their shit. The shit that they didn't made for, they do you that curve here and give y'all that right there. Why would they give you the Bible, man? Why would in slavery? Why would they give you a Bible? They don't even want you to live, King. They think that you are less than a dog. What do you think that they would give you the Bible? What would be the purpose of that? Man? To help you? They ain't trying to help you do nothing, man. What would they try to give you? That's what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? So, you're right, man. And so now they get you the Bible, and now they studying our shit. You read that Bible. Don't worry about nothing else. You stay in that Bible and don't ask no questions outside that Bible, because if you do, God will get you now. Okay, so and then we gonna study what we supposed to study. Kemetic thought. You see what I'm talking about, man? What y'all think about that, man? Hey, Gerald, what you think about that video, man?
I remember the first Zeitgeist, which when people first coming into information, coming into knowledge, them dudes can throw you off a little bit. They can put half truths out. Dealing with the subject matter, as I've always said, if it's solid, then some type of African Senate scholar gonna deal with it. And the one that I've heard deal with that type of information has been Anthony Browder. He is from Washington, D.C. I think he got a book about Egypt on the Potomac and a video kind of dealing with it. And they more deal with it from the, as you said, come from the committee. That Zeitgeist stuff, they're going to kind of come with the dark magic and the devil kind of stuff. And some
But I
people
mean,
just in the conspiracy theory
I seen that too.
is attracted to that type of stuff, Then, as you say, sometimes it just depends on what view. It could be dealing with a Sar, a Set, and Haru, but then they can flip that to make some people think that's the anti-shit of the, you know what I'm saying? That's the opposite of the real God and Jesus. So it's flipped. But historically, that's what we're going to just deal with. What you see what Masons doing, Masons are copying the ancient people in the Nile Valley. They were true Masons. They were true master builders. But then whatever their craft was, they were serious about. If you was if you made bread, and me and the bread bakers, we better than the rest, we better than y'all, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they were serious about their craft, if that makes sense. Whether it was the priesthood, the scribes, the whatever. So each of them had, it was almost like a master class of anything they did, just like if doctors, if you're a doctor, the doctors think they the shit. Y'all with me? Then you got the lawyers. The lawyers say, nah, we the best. Then the bankers say, nah, we the best. The banker is the one that control that money. So that's a different story. So they don't care who the best, as long as they controlling their money. You can be smart or whatever. The hell with you. When you go back to us learning, we always learn. We didn't share top information with nobody. Whether you was like us or not, you had to be initiated. You had to be worthy. That's when we hear about, we was talking the other day about the Greeks coming in and being worthy of, you know what I'm saying, getting into but once you got initiated, it was a thing. You'll see some statues in Kemet. You'll see a little young Hebrew. He always gonna have his finger on his mouth, right? You don't tell everybody. You know, I think I forget his Kemetic name, but I think his Greek name, Hippocrates or something. You know, but you always gonna hear a young little hero, and he gonna have his finger on his mouth, like you don't tell the secrets to everybody. So that's where they get that from. The basic secret I told people when I first got back in it was the secret is it's Kemetic, it's black.
That's right.
My argument a little bit was even back then in their mindset. I don't really know if they kind of really thought the Egyptians was white. You know what I'm saying? It's enough evidence to show now them was black people, but that time it's like the Egyptians was white to them. They made the Egyptians white, the Jews white, and they might, you know what I'm saying? When you see the movies and stuff, you see in white, when you see the 10 Commandments and Moses, them is white people.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? They
That's right.
made all that white. They'll
They
put us blacks as some slaves
Swiss spots
even
with
in that.
us.
Right. So they
Okay.
done flipped their mind and stolen somebody's history. White people who believe in Kemet and in Egypt, especially the Masons, they jacking our history. And it's not until now that we still wrestling and form in the 2000s. They're saying, no, the genetic shit saying that that's fucking, they black. They found King Tut in 1922. Shit, they were showing us King Tut white. Y'all seen them little crazy pictures. You know what I'm saying? So they still doing that now. It's no pause on them dealing with that type of stuff, still trying to confuse certain people on who our ancient ancestors were.
Yeah, but that shit been debunked, man. They didn't already prove that, man. In the UNESCO conference, they did that, man. They already proved that. They on some. They on some want to believe shit on that and that at this point, King, because that's already been proven, man, and it's already shown. It's too late in the game, man. It's 2024, man. If you don't know that by now, man, there's something. Then you're in denial at this point. You feel me? That's just period, King. This 2024. Unmute yourself. That's 2024, King. You know, no, man. That they know what it is, King. They know that Kemet was a black civilization, man. You know what I'm saying? They knew that, man. Now, you know, what it turned out to be at a point, you know, at the end, something else. But if we talking about ancient Kemet, nah, man, yeah, that's African. That's black African. You know, so they know that, man. They've been knowing that. You know what I'm saying? They knew that, man, when Diop and then when was it Theophile Bega?
Yeah. Well, again, when
Yeah.
you're saying that, that's 1976. When we're talking about this area, this is the 1700s. America's
I
created.
mean, even
Yeah.
at that point, they definitely knew it was black. They definitely knew it was black. That's when they trying to. That's at the point they've been trying to change that shit forever, man. I mean, since they had sense, you know what I'm saying? They've been trying to change it. I mean, why would you? You better try to change it. You better try to get somewhere in history. Better try to fit in some damn where. I mean, I mean, they, if you're the conqueror, you're the winner, you get to choose the rules, King. You get to choose. You choose what goes on, what don't go on. I mean, that's just how that right. And if you ain't with it, they killing your ass. Well, you better do a mass exodus. You know what I'm saying? Because your ass gonna be either murdered or you gonna go up under that motherfucking. You gonna go up under those laws and rules. I mean, that shit. Yeah, no, man. These people knew that Kemet was black even before uh Diop and them went up there, man. They knew that, man. They knew that then. But they didn't expect nobody to come out and put that shit public. That's all, man. All the motherfuckers that was at that conference, they knew that shit too. They all knew it. They knew that they ain't had no goddamn sense. How the fuck y'all come up with that kind of shit? Huh? How y'all come up with that shit? Get out of here. No, you know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers just got here. This shit been here. Fuck is wrong with y'all, man? You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, man, with that shit, man. You know what I mean? That's just don't wear that. So yeah, man. That like I said, this when we get to that point, you in denial, King. You just in denial. It ain't about you don't know. You just don't, you know. And I know people like that. You'll tell a person, look, this is facts. Look at this. Whoa, 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 and show it to them in their face. And they, you know what they tell you? I done seen it. They tell you, I done seen this. They did this in my face several times, and not just one person, but this has happened where they tell you, well, I don't believe it. I mean, okay, well, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to believe it. Just because you don't believe it, don't mean it's not true. That's the fact, right? You know, just because you don't believe it, that now at this point, you're in denial. It ain't that you don't believe it. You just denying the fact. That's all. You're denying the fact. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. But that's who's that hurting? Me or you?
Right.
Right. Who is that hurting? Me or you? Right? Because later on, when you need the information, you gonna shit. I didn't know that. What? Motherfucker been told you that. You was in denial. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, man. No, man. When we get to this dude right here, I understand that you know, they get some, you know, they get a lot of things twisted and you know, they try to go, you know, you see that, right? You know what I'm saying? And they've always demonized, you know, African spiritual systems. They've always done that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, yeah, they're demonizing it. Why are they designing their capital of their country behind the mythology of Kemetic thought? Why are they doing that? Why would they do that if they thought that it was evil or thought that it was you know what I'm saying, something demonic or something that wasn't, you know, cool, right? Yeah. Why would they do that, man? Who would do that? Right? Who would do that, man? Right? You had to know something, King, in order to design your shit instead of designing your capital behind Jesus Christ and God and or any of the Abrahamic faiths. No, you didn't do that. You designed it from Kemetic history, from Kemetic myth. Right? That's what you did. You designed it out of that. And you did that because you know something. You know that the Jesus and God thing, man, they know that ain't like they gave you that. They gave that to you. They designed that for you. You took that shit and ate it. You know what I'm saying? They designed it for themselves. And then when you came on them ships, they gave it to you. Just, you know, just another form of control. But I'm just saying, right? When you look at that video, when that white man is telling you that the Freemasons deliberately designed Washington, D.C. From Kemetic mythological thought. What does that tell you, man?
So
Yo, United States did this. This our good old United States did this, man. They did this, man. They did this. What they thought. This is their thought in building this country.
Right. So we're saying the founders, right? The founders of the country were Freemasons. We agree on that?
Right.
All right. Then the Freemasons had a certain way of thinking. Right?
Lying.
They didn't have a certain way of thinking. That's not a certain way of thinking. They had a way of thinking that came from us.
But it's still a certain way. We can describe what it comes from.
That's our thinking.
Yeah, it's a certain way. But you'll hear Christians trying to argue that this is a Christian nation. You hear that problem going on right now with this Christian nationalism. That it was created, all this here. And that's, again, that argument is not true. It was not created in that way.
What was it? What was it? Say it again.
You got Christian nationalists arguing that this is a Christian nation. If you don't believe in Jesus and God like that, get out. And this was created for white Christians like that. Okay. Those Freemasons didn't let you know what they was. They would hide it was created for white people now, but as far as dealing with a Christian thing, I got books that some of these Freemasons is dogging Thomas Paine. He one of the first ones, he getting at Christianity. You know what I'm saying? But now we get into the Masons' way of thinking. As they logic go, they believe in God, but they don't tell you that if you think it's the Judeo-Christian God, then yeah. But when they dealing with their symbolisms, as you showing and whatnot, they tracing that back to ancient Kemet. Trying to let them off the hook is me saying that they maybe thought that the people from Kemet were white because their mindset was like black people are not. They done enslaved us. We not human. You know what I'm saying? So it's some cognitive dissonance going on. It's cognitive dissonance that it couldn't be. Or even when we was there, we wasn't. So they arguments is, well, it was some dark skin, but they were white. But they dark skinned white people. They still, they got this here kind of argument going on. Yeah, but they can't be Negro. It was not, their mindset would not let them say that at that time. What you get from that friend set who are Masons, that's where you get the John Henry Clark was telling who they've been throwing up all the goddamn time, Albert Churchward. He's a Mason who say it's African. You with me?
Right.
Yeah, this like late 1800s, 1900s. They already put this up. They already did this shit from the early part, if that makes sense.
Right.
And now he coming, and as Dr. John Henry Clark and as Dr. Phil was arguing, he not talking to even Americans. He talking to his Masons over in England and all over there and telling them that's black shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's called fringe. Now the numbers he throw up on it, we argue about that, but we'll agree that it's black. Who else was it? Another black dude that said it. A white dude that bust out and say that it's they was following the Egyptians was black. But that's what, Gerald Massey was the other one, basically, who kind of said this shit is, it come from
Albert Church Wars, all them, remember them?
Yeah, it come from Egyptian ritual. And they were saying the Egyptians was black. So
hey, listen to this, man. Look here, man. When Columbus is supposed to did what he supposed to did, how long? Okay, so what? Tell me this here. Just explain the case because this is how. Look at check this out, man. When you got Columbus did what he came to do, he did what he did. Now, let me ask you this: it wasn't okay? So they had dumb diverses at this time. The dumb diverses was already enrolling at this time. Okay? So they was on. This shit was made. This shit was done by the popes. They was doing this. They was running that game, that slave game. They ran that slave game, right? They ran the slave game. when we, well, when we talking about this dude, man, it just amazes me, man, how the Freemasons, which, like you said, Kemet, Kemet had the first Freemasons, first builders, right? Right.
I mean, I'm gonna cut to the chase real quick.
Go
We
ahead.
need to get some black Freemasons and ask them what they know about Kemet. Why they ain't telling, shit. If that's what it's
But
supposed to
see,
be about.
but see, here's the thing, man. They ain't finna like the Freemasons ain't finna tell you. I mean, they'll tell you, follow Jesus Christ. I believe in God. Woo, woo. But that ain't what they believe in, man. That's not what that's not what they rocking with, man. They're not rocking with none of that stuff, man.
Yeah, but they rocking with Kemet, so-called.
Huh?
But they so-called rocking with Kemet. So they need to be able to build with us who's dealing with Kemet.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they probably could. They probably could, or a lot of them play like they don't know nothing about it. I'm just saying. I mean, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to. They ain't finna reveal to us they inside rituals and beliefs and whatever else they got going on. King, that's a secret society. We ain't supposed to know. There's a lot of stuff we ain't not supposed to know about them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff we ain't supposed to know about them, man. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff that people think they know that really don't be on point, man. And sometimes it be on point. You just don't know, man. You just we don't know because ain't nobody no Mason. I ain't talked to one unless if I have, I ain't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, so yeah, I just, yeah.
Yeah, I understand from that point. And again, they might not take, but again, just as we listening to, we actually was listening to somebody supposed to be telling us about it, or we read our church water supposed to be. It almost get caught up into that. Well, is he really telling the truth? Is he, you know what I'm saying? It's what you take with a grain of salt and what you don't. And again, at the end, it goes back to what you can provide evidence for or not.
Well, one thing for sure that we know for a fact is that we're not gonna ever. I don't think it's gonna be really, really hard to get an actual timeline, King, on. You feel me? It's just gonna be really, really hard, King, to get an actual timeline on when we came and when we, when Homo sapiens sapien, rose, man. I mean, we couldn't, we just, all we got is the information that's provided for us, right? We don't, like it. So the timelines, it's hard to argue those. It's hard to argue timelines.
No, they're not set in stone yet because again, new evidence can be found. That's why I accept that. I understood that when they was just start finding stuff in the 70s, when they just really starting to dig.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and timelines can be changed. I'm not in doubt of that. What I'm not in doubt of is the evolutionary process. So we could go back older than we think we are. That never gonna change that what we call as modern humans all still come from something that originated in Africa. That DNA already proved all that. You know, ain't nothing gonna mess with that sequence. You know, so I wouldn't, like I said, the dates that homo might push us back further. I'm okay with that. You know, it's not gonna change the argument about what we call racist and where do white people come from and what, you know, yeah, they all come from us. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
what we
because I
call race.
understand, like, because I understand the time that, when we looking at these Kings list. When we're looking at the Kings list, like, those numbers, man, is according to me, is according to they trying to match it up with the Bible, right? Now, and I know that we are much older than that, man. I know that, man. I know we much older than that. I know we had civilizations that's much older than the ones that they're saying that we had. You know what I mean? Than
Yeah.
this 3200 BCE thing, or whatever they want to put on there, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that we much our civilizations, and just in Egypt, was much older than that, man. But you know, matter of fact, I know that for sure. Okay, it just you can't put. I just can't put the. You'll never be able to put a number on it, man.
In that point, it's we gotta wrestle our history from quote unquote Egyptology. Egyptology is European. That's what Anthony Browder should be able to come in to do with him putting the that's what Diop was able to do and wrestle it away from him. You got to get, because they're gonna keep promoting it from as you see the Zawi Wise or whatever his name is that's president now. They're not gonna tell the truth or they're gonna suppress it, as much as they can. So some of our fines and stuff won't be really unfolded until the next generation. And hopefully people will still be interested in it at that time, if that makes sense. At the point they're trying to make our people not even be interested in our own history. So that's with us still trying to make these mental connections, memory connections back to to that origin. And I think just evidence on our side. I think what the ancestors did, like say, built in stone and did with the mummies, they knew something was happening. They knew somebody was gonna come tell a lie or say, tried to do what they did, and they preserved in stone and they preserved our bodies. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
And that's they
if they
knew it,
didn't
man. They
have
knew we
that,
was gonna
we
need it.
we wouldn't be that. They would steal it from, you know what I'm saying? They would say any goddamn thing if they had it. And they still got that inspiring to hide it and lie.
Man, our ancestors knew we was gonna need that information, King. I mean, they knew it, man. I mean, like I said, man, they were so amazing, man. Because they knew exactly, they knew what was gonna happen, man. They knew it, man. They knew we was gonna need this information off some walls, man.
Yeah, for
Man,
verification.
they left us so much on them walls, King. Like you can't deny it, man. You know what I'm saying? And they had white paint, King. They had, they had white paint. They, you know what I'm saying? They painted themselves as they seen themselves. They put, you know what I'm saying? They painted themselves as they seen themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, this one of King Tut statues right here.
Yeah, man. Painted himself the way he saw himself, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, But yeah, that was it, man. That's all I had, King. I just wanted to show that.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wanted to show people, man, how somebody is studying our shit and it ain't us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got the people is studying our shit, man. And through everybody else that curve, which is the Bible, you through the Bible out there, so you can grab a hold of that, so you stay up off this Kemetic thought. And on top of that, we're gonna demonize it. We're gonna tell you it's evil. We're gonna tell you that it's witchcraft and it's voodoo and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's just bad. Don't mess with it. You don't want to mess with nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to talk to nobody, you know, that's dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, but at the same time, they gonna build your country that you believe so. You know, you supposed to know your American history, because this should be part of American history. This should be a part of American history. I don't know why it's not. Right. I don't know why it's not. Or social studies. It should be one of the two, man. It should be, you know what I mean? It should be social studies. That's what I think. This should be in a social study class. You know what I'm saying? You know, start if you want to know, or government class. That'd be even better, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be wouldn't it be, it would just have it in the government class. You know what I'm saying? You have to start with that. That'd be your the first chapter is that. You know what I'm
Any
saying?
part of history you deal with is gonna cover us if you deal with it from the right way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
government, social,
However you look
the
at it.
basic mad, yeah, any way you deal with it, you're gonna be dealing with us if you deal with it from the right way, you know.
Sir.
Uh, and that is the secret. The secret is it's about us. So and again, it'll make us be more interested about us. So they're gonna teach about them. They're gonna make it about them to make their children feel good. They're not gonna make us. They never gonna try to make it be about us. But again, as I say, that's for us to do. You know what I'm saying? We can't blame that on them. That's for us to do.
Right.
Yeah. But as we say, as the higher up you learn, as we hear about the Masons and whatnot, they studying the all seeing eye. That's the all seeing eye of a saw. They got a
Right.
trinity. That trinity deals with a saw set in Hebrew.
That's
You
right.
know, the virgin is dealing with Aset, what they call ISIS. So, you know, um, when we got knowledge of self, these things. It just makes you chuckle. Ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? When that's my point. Like I said, I'm about to get up out of here in a minute, but I always got to deal from an African point of view. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that don't keep a secret from you that can help you and your people with understanding and knowledge of self. That I don't know if that's your friend or not. But, you the information that we deal with, we come on. We are very transparent as we are now. We go live. We open for questions. We ain't trying to hide, and never will. I'm here to feed the people. And when the room is open or anytime somebody with me, whatever I got, come eat. Come to the table. Let's eat. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. So again, I would never take no oath not to talk to my people on that level like that. Something that I knew. I'm gonna tell it. So I know about the initiation the rites of passage back in the day, but at this time, anybody, and I'm reckless with it, I give anybody any type of information. You know, I know it's supposed to be certain levels for certain people, but shit, you have to decide whether you can handle it or not. You know, eat the meat, throw away the bones.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, appreciate you presenting that,
Yeah, for sure,
something to
man.
think about, and as I said, as you said, they know it was us. They know it's coming from Africa, people of Kemet. So they can deny it and try to trick it up all they want. That's our information, our knowledge. Well, we should get out of it if they were so interesting for them, and they built a nation dealing with that information and knowledge. What we should be able to get that information and do the same thing for ourselves. And that's Black Power, Black Love.
That's right, man. Yeah, and the cool thing about that, man, is the information is out here. It's out here, man. It's out here. It ain't the devil. It ain't Satan or whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that. It's just you finding you and who you are. That's all that is, man. That's all it's about. I mean, don't forget, family, we got the first Sunday, first Sunday of the month, children book read. And it's just really good thing to get into, man. Bring the kids, bring the nieces, nephews, grandkids, kids, bring them all, man, and join us on this book read, man. Got some really, really good books, man, that people are, that we're reading on, about real African places, real African kings and queens, times and events, and uh, participants, man, just put your name put your name in the chat, and then we'll spin the wheel, and the winner wins a free book. And we mail it to your house, man, free of charge, don't cost you nothing. All you got, all we ask is that you do, the baby do the next children's book read. Hey, but it's really important, man, that we stay up on that. You know what I'm saying? As you see that the government's trying to change, rewrite history, rewrite our Black African history. They're banning all our books, a lot of our books, not all of them, but just a lot of our books. They're here in Florida, man. You're not allowed to school system is not allowed to teach Black African history. Black African history. You know what I'm saying? It's against the law. So I'm just letting you know that this is what we're against, and it's coming to other states near you. So just stay tuned. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, share, and let us know what you think, man, and give us a couple comments. Let us know what y'all think about what y'all think. All right, family. Thanks for joining. And we're out of here.